Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. So, I heard through the grapevine that tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day. That is because of I want to call it the CSI data, CSP data. It's going to be about the inflation. And if the inflation is misses the mark, then the markets are going to spiral. Woe is everybody. And so I took a moment to review all of my accounts tonight. And the conclusion for Robinhood is I am in a good spot because tomorrow, or I guess when I'm going to publish this later today, um, this is declaration date for Yieldmax and Ulti and YMAG. So, depending on what the distributions wind up being, I'll either buy one share of Ymax or one share of YMAG. Ulti can fend for itself. The distributions from Ulti will be going to split between Misty and Nvidia, and I guess also Ymax and YMAG. But I did wind up buying Ymax last month because it had the higher distribution. I think it has the higher distribution this month as well. So there's that. And then depending on if fiat is below $20 or dip, fiat and dip, if they're below $20, I'll probably just start accumulating that 5 shares at a time. Up to 10% of what I own in, Misty or basically it's a hedge on my Bitcoin plays and my Nvidia plays. So if my margin is 25% and I hedge 10%, hopefully Misty and Nvidia and NVDL, they all don't go down by 90%. That's what I'm betting on. Also, I don't have that much margin. I only have 2,000 some odd dollars of margin out right now, so I'm not really in danger of a margin call. I just yeah, I also figured out how much in the downturn, if Misty and Nvidia go on deep discount tomorrow or the next day, how much I am willing right now to take out in margin. So I'm glad that I got that taken care of. What you're looking at here is actually my IRA, which is not something I'm going to show very much on this channel, but you can see that the vast majority of this is still sane with VU, SCHD, and SCHD. And I'm planning on keeping it that way. And I thought that I had to manually enroll in reinvestment in Vanguard, but it turns out that it is automatically reinvented. I'm automatically dripping anyway, which is good because this is more of a set it and forget it type of account. Like I come in and I was like, oh, after the week class we had last week, I was expecting my portfolio to be a little bit less, but I actually have like $10,000 more than I had in across all of my accounts than I had last time I logged in, which is always exciting. So, there are a few like Snowy and SQI and PyPy that are returned to the fund, but I am not going to worry about that right now. I missed AMDY, Phoebe, DSO, and ABNY. They, I was doing limit, trying to purchase those when I was doing my initial investment. So what happened with this is I had a couple of jobs that well, okay, so there were a couple of jobs that I just didn't move my 401k over. One was when I got laid off, and then I was busy finding a new job, and the other one I was only at for 6 months, and it was not great. So, um, but I found those retirement accounts, and so that's like money I didn't think I was going to miss. So that's why that wound up in all of these Yieldmax accounts, because I was like, well, you know, if this is money that was rotting in this fund that was expensive, and they charged me a fee for like the account to exist, I may as well put it into something I'm actually monitoring and put it into something like the Yieldmax funds, and have it as a portion to increase it. The goal, and I'm going to have to go back through and get it off of a drip, because the goal is to, okay, dripping is good because it's probably going to be 6 months to a year before I come back here anyway. But whenever I do log back in, this is the only account where I'm actually just going to rebalance instead of taking the dividends and, taking the dividends and paying 50% and buying into my 3-fund portfolio. I will just get my risk profile and say, like 70% is the 3-fund portfolio. That 3-fund portfolio is equal weighted, and the other 30% can be this Yieldmax madness. It looks like I went all in on Yieldmax. The plan was to take whatever, because I have $494 right now to invest, but if we can get the limits that I just put in, I only have spent $373. Maybe I am a big fan of QDTE, so maybe I will actually invest in something that makes sense. With the leftover money, maybe I'll just do every single high income ETF and YOLO it and just not pay attention and see how we are in 6 months. So, but I don't have to figure out that extra $100 until we figure out if I can actually buy these Yieldmax for the cheapness that I want to. And so I talked about Robinhood, and this is my 401k, which then leaves my HSA, which is the same kind of a story. I had accounts that I never bothered moving. This was actually from my first programming job, so it's been like over a decade, and they were charging me like $10 a month, I think, to keep my account open. So that is now in Fidelity, and right now it is 90% Bitcoin, but I have started to buy Misty and Nvidia, so that one will just be Misty and Nvidia, and then I don't believe that has dividends reinvesting, so then what we're going to do is just a third of it will go to a 3-fund portfolio, a third of it will go to Bitcoin, a third of it will go back to reinvestment, and then yeah, so we're still in the post-halving madness that's Bitcoin. I know that a lot of people are like, but that happened in April. What are you talking about? But historically with Bitcoin, the new high doesn't happen until probably in December at the earliest, or next year and in the spring, the latest. I'm assuming that if we do not hit 100,000 in Bitcoin by next fall, people are going, and by people I mean like a lot of the Bitcoin community is going to revolt, and then Bitcoin is going to get much, much cheaper. But for me, for my plans, I'm assuming that it's going to use the same pattern that it's been doing for the last 4 cycles or 8 cycles. Wow. It's been 16 years. So, and it's a 4-year cycle. So, I'm assuming it's just going to have the same cycle. And this winter or next spring, when we reach around $100,000, I'm going to be selling all of my Bitcoin, and then probably about 50% a Misty out of this account, my HSA, and then basically investing that in the 3-fund portfolio and in Vidi, and pretending that I know what I'm doing. So I think I was checking in to see what my plan was for tomorrow, because we knew that there's going to be higher volatility, but it's the same thing that's going to happen. I'm not going to sell Misty or Nvidia or put in a bunch of trailing stops. The weirdest thing I did was in Robinhood, I set a limit order to buy a trailing stop limit for Vixie, because apparently I hate money. But I figured if it rises 5% tomorrow, we'll buy it. I'll put in a trailing stop for 10%. And last time it spiked, it went up over 100%. So maybe I'll get lucky, but I only put in for 10 shares. So hopefully I won't lose my entire account. So anyway, that's my plan for just in general what I'm doing with my 3 accounts that have Yieldmax. Nothing special for tomorrow, but I will be keeping an eye on it, and hopefully you all are doing okay, that we have survived the market, and happy hunting tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.